Guest commentator Laura Carlsen joins us now with tonight's view from the Americas.
When leaders from 34 nations gather in Colombia this week for the Summit of the Americas, we can expect some surprises. In the 3 years since the last summit, there have been major power shifts on the continent. The countries of the Americas met last December and forged a new organization they're calling the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, or CELAC. When they formed the regional bloc in Caracas, they intentionally left off the guest list the United States and Canada.
America for the Americans.
So why leave out the Western Hemisphere's most powerful resident? CELAC members see the new organization as a bid to move Latin America out of the U.S. backyard. The country's leaders want to address regional conflicts and challenges among themselves and build South-South ties to reduce outside influence and also as a buffer against failing developed country economies. The group even hopes to eventually sideline the Organization of American States, where they say the U.S. government has too much influence. It's all part of a vision of a multipolar world, with Latin America being one of the new poles. Increased regional ties and more than $15 billion of direct investment from China have made it possible for some Latin American nations to wean themselves from dependence on U.S. trade and investment and political control. Many South American countries have become global champions for breaking with orthodox free market policies and austerity for the poor. Remember, this is the region that rejected the U.S.-backed free trade agreement of the Americas and said no to the International Monetary Fund. Southern cone governments have applied tariff barriers to protect domestic industries and adopted policies to redistribute wealth, lower poverty, and exercise more state control over natural resources. These programs don't abandon market policies, but they affirm the state's obligation to address the needs of the poor in a region that now has the highest inequality rate in the world. After weathering the global crisis surprisingly well, Latin America feels bold in demanding more voice for its emerging economies in multilateral organizations and financial institutions. To do that, it seeks more unity within the region. But this doesn't mean that the new community of states will speak with a single voice at the summit. There's a big difference between, say, Venezuela's 21st century socialism and Mexico's NAFTA economy. The question is, in today's world, can a group of emerging economies form a regional bloc capable of standing up to the wealthy nations? That remains to be seen. But for now, that's where Latin America's leaders are placing their bets. For Americas Now, I'm Laura Carlsen.